everyone, I've got another 5-minute card for you today, and this is using some watercolour. So if you love to use watercolour but you want to do it in a really simple way, this card might be perfect for you. So I have got some water, a clean brush, I've got some leaf stamps as well, and some butterfly die cuts. These are cut from the same cardstock, watercolour cardstock that I'm using here. I've got a yellow ink pad and I've got some watercolour inks in blue and green. So what I've done here, as you can probably just see, I have masked off a square on some watercolour cardstock. I was using a low-tack tape that was still quite sticky, so I've popped these on my trousers because they were new black trousers, so there was lots of fluff on them that could come off onto the tape, but making sure that the edges are still very much sealed. So I'm going to go in with some water first of all and go from corner to corner in that square, just with some clean water, just dampening the page for now. So just making sure that's fairly wet. And then while that's soaking in, I am going to use a drop of watercolour in there, just a drop of green, and you can vary the colours of course, and a drop of blue just in there. And I'm just going to make myself a slightly diluted watercolour paint for each of these by adding a few drops to each one, like so. Now that's soaked in, I'm going to add a little more water across the centre there, and then start bringing some of this ink in. So a very small amount, and just placing it like so across. We can probably get away with a bit more there. And then the same with the green, and I'm hoping the blue and the green will kind of mix together a little to make a bit of a teal colour. That's the hope anyway. So we can see we've got a beautiful wash there, and then I'm going to dry my brush off a little so it's just damp, and just pull some of this out just by working in circles around near the edge of the paint, so that kind of fades the edges out. And if you don't have watercolour inks or paints, you can do this in other ways. So you could do it also with maybe some distress oxides or distress inks, popping those onto a mat and watering them down too. So here in the centres, I'm just adding a touch more of the blue and green, a little bit darker, just to increase the colour there. And now I think I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to just let that dry for a few moments. I'm going to take a small leaf sprig stamp, and this could be any sort of shaped leaf that you want, and a yellow ink. So I'm going to use Wild Honey in the Distress Oxide range, because the Oxide is a pigment ink. I know this is going to lay really nicely over the top of those inks that we've already put down. And just space a few coming out from here. Doesn't matter, like so, if you don't get the perfect impression, because it kind of wants it to look like the watercolour's running in and out anyway. And I'm going to go over the tape too, so we've got a little bit of a mask going on there also, and the same this end. So that's just added a little bit of texture and detail to the watercolour. So once you've done that, you can carefully peel off your tape, and this is always my favourite part. And as I said, I've got some die cuts. Now these are from the same cardstock, as you can see, as my base, and they're going to just position over here, kind of so they fit the base of some of the leaves, like so. Move them around until you're happy. You can put 2, 3, 4, however many you want to. You don't have to stick with 2 if you prefer to do more. And these can, if you want to, overlap the edge of the square too. So they're going to go down like that, and I'm going to just glue those down with a little bit of glue just in the center of the bodies rather than going all over. Now for a sentiment, I'm going to use some gold embossing to make this look really elegant. So I'm just using an anti-static bag. I've got a congratulations sentiment on a block here. I'm going to use some clear embossing ink, so super sticky ink, just all over there. I'm going to emboss this in gold. I think that will look really nice just here, the base and to the right of that square. I'm going to use a nice gold embossing powder. This one isn't actually a glittery gold. I think it's called Princess. It is Princess Gold. So it's a dark gold, so it's not too shiny. Tap off any excess there, and I'm going to heat set that too. So there's my gold sentiment, and just to echo that, I'm going to put a few little gold pearls into where the watercolour is, and this can also be extended slightly beyond the watercolour too. So I've taken that watercolour panel and I've just raised that up onto a watercolour card base as well, just to match. It's a really pretty elegant card that can be done in no time at all, and of course you could batch make these really quickly also. So there's another 5-minute make for you today. Don't forget there is an entire playlist of 5-minute cards you can check out here, and if you've not done before, I'd love it if you could subscribe to my channel. Take care everybody, have a lovely day, I'll see you again soon.